From ironic t-shirt choices to good-looking gang members, stay tuned to number 1 to find out how many of these alleged convicts were offered modeling contracts. Number 10. Luciano Gutierrez. Now this is a perfect example of a picture being taken at the right time and right place, though the convict might not find it as amusing as the rest of us. Luciano Gutierrez was arrested in 2015 on a DUI, or driving under the influence, and this was the 9th time he'd been arrested on these charges. As a result, he risked being charged with a felony under Texas law. But that's not why his mugshot went viral. No, this was because of the t-shirt he was wearing when he was arrested and booked. Perhaps it was fate or just funny luck that Gutierrez decided to put on a t-shirt that said, "Warning, I do dumb things," and then decided to drink and drive. Clearly the t-shirt wasn't lying. It would be interesting to know who bought the t-shirt for him in the first place. When this mugshot went viral, it was picked up by a number of well-known news outlets such as USA Today and Washington Post. But even with all this publicity, there is little or no evidence that gives us an insight as to how Gutierrez responded to his 15 minutes of internet fame. Number 9. Mirella Ponce. This next listing is one of 2 gang members to make it onto this list, and both for the same reason: their looks. And both examples perfectly highlight how some people easily forget the criminal behavior that led to the mugshot being taken in the first place, simply because the individual is good looking. Ponce was a gang member who was arrested in October 2017 for driving with and concealing a stolen, loaded gun while she had her baby in the car with her. Clearly, she might be pretty, but this is not what people suggest when they're talking about mother-child bonding time. When the arresting police department posted her mugshot to Facebook, the internet went crazy for her looks and completely overlooked the details of her conviction. The post was shared hundreds of times, had thousands of likes and comments about her looks. Her brief 5 minutes of internet fame had given her a different outlook, and it was said that after receiving her probation sentence, she wanted to become a model. Although she didn't get as many opportunities as another person on this list, local newspapers at the time highlighted that she was offered a couple of modeling gigs. Number 8. Justin Lamar Richardson. You'd think that food would be the last thing you'd think of when you've been arrested and you're in front of the camera, getting your mugshot taken and all, but that's exactly what happened here. Arrested in September 2017 and reported by Fox 46, Justin Lamar Richardson was arrested in North Carolina for violating his probation many times. So clearly the guy was trying to not go to prison. Once he was back inside, the arresting police department had to take a new mugshot for his recent booking. But this is where things went slightly different from what one would expect. After telling the police officer that he was hungry, Richardson was presented with a basic bologna sandwich. Clearly, he asked a nice officer who didn't just say, "Tough luck, kid," and the photo was taken just after Richardson had taken a bite of the sandwich. Obviously, when this image was shared on Facebook, it quickly went viral, but much to the disappointment of many. The arresting police department soon realized the picture didn't portray them in a very professional light, so they opted to make Richardson take a more serious picture, minus the sandwich. We all know how this picture was accepted on the outside world, but it would be interesting to know if Richardson gained any short-lived fame on the inside. Number 7. Jeremy Meeks. There aren't many people who've managed to get as much out of a good mugshot photo as Jeremy Meeks. When you think of a hot criminal, he's likely to come to mind first. Meeks was arrested in 2014 after he was caught with a firearm despite being a convicted felon. He was also charged with being part of a gang. But it wasn't his actions that made him famous, but simply the mugshot. When the arresting police department posted it to Facebook, the internet completely exploded and many people across the world oogled at the documented Crips member. Nevertheless, he was later sentenced to 27 months in prison. But this is not where his story ends. Unlike many of the other examples on this list, Meeks' looks continued to get him noticed, and while he was in prison, he signed a modeling contract that would bring him numerous opportunities for him when he was released. And that's exactly what happened when he was released in March of 2016. After seeking to pursue modeling as a legitimate career, the ex-convict now travels around the world for different photo shoots. Although Meeks was very fortunate in how all of this played out, we don't recommend trying to use a mugshot to get publicity for your modeling career. You might get famous for being a supporter of Zero to Hero though. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Honestly, I don't know how the fame part would work there, but hey, let's give it a shot. Number 6. Morgan Joyce Varn. This next entry is just a little bit creepy, but when it went viral, it really went viral, with various news outlets around the world reporting on it. And it's fairly understandable to see why. When Morgan Joyce Varn was arrested in April of 2017 for kidnapping, armed robbery, and property damage, she took the internet by storm with her piercing black eyes. And as you can see from her photo, this isn't just part of her eyes, but the whole thing. Varn is one of those perhaps slightly crazy people who decided to tattoo the whites of their eyes black. Yes, you heard right. And she's not the only one, as a number of people have done the same thing in this really weird and dangerous trend. While it's not uncommon for convicts to be covered in tattoos, this one definitely takes it to the extreme. Number 5. Sean Corey. Sean Corey is a guy that could give Meeks a run for his money, and it's another mugshot of a good-looking guy. Now, Corey's arrest also highlights that he really doesn't like Fox News, after he was arrested in 2014 for assaulting someone who, rather boringly, decided to dress up as a Fox News reporter for Halloween, which is a bit of a strange thing to do. Corey's only defense was that he hates Fox News. But that's not what made his mugshot go viral. No, that was because of a face that people felt was good looking, with his apparently piercing eyes. But Meeks need not worry, because unlike the modeling contracts he managed to get as a result of his viral mugshot, Corey seems to have disappeared from the internet after he took his hatred for the news channel just a step too far. Number 4. Sarah Seawright. Apparently the internet loves a good-looking convict. Well, that's exactly what happened to Sarah Seawright, whom the internet dubbed Prison Bae. Arrested in April 2016, Seawright didn't turn up for a court appearance linked to a previous arrest, but this time her mistake would make her famous. Although she was shocked at the sudden fame and initially went along with it, even posting contact information on her social media accounts for anyone who wished to book an appearance by her. She soon made her social media sites private, so unlike Meeks, there's no modeling contract waiting for her, and it appears she is content to remain anonymous for now. That is, if you can ever be anonymous after a picture of you has gone viral. Number 3. Lucas William Vincent. We've had good-looking mugshots, funny mugshots, and wild-eyed mugshots, but while a little bit funny, Lucas William Vincent is also quite shocking. In May 2017, Vincent was due his day in court after he was arrested on assault charges, but when he didn't appear, the arresting police station decided to share his mugshot. Not surprisingly, the picture went viral, and it's pretty obvious to see why, as poor Vincent has ears which look like someone has taken a pair of scissors to them and made zigzag patterns across his left ear. In all, the mugshot was shared over 18,000 times by people across the world, giving Vincent a place on the long list of funny mugshots that went viral. Ironically though, while the arresting police department might have been hoping they'd get someone reporting sightings of Vincent after the mugshot was shared on their Facebook page, they obviously overestimated their viewers. Instead of reported sightings, they just got a load of really bad ear jokes. Number 2. Micah Musser. Have you ever been on your way to work or to visit family and suddenly remembered your partner gave you a big fat hickey on the side of your neck and you're suddenly that tiny bit embarrassed? Well, Micah Musser takes hickeys to the extreme. In comparison to some of the other charges on this list, Musser was arrested in June 2017 for rather light offenses like trespassing and unlawful transaction with a minor, but this wouldn't normally get you noticed. Not when there are bank robbers and other serious convicts out there. But Musser's mugshot went viral because his neck was more or less completely covered in hickeys. In a sad twist, when Mustard took part in an interview sometime after the image went viral, he reported that the reason he'd been trespassing in the first place was because he and his friends were homeless at the time and just needed somewhere to stay. During the interview, he's also reported to have said that he didn't want to be remembered as the hickey guy, but we all know how the internet is when it comes to internet fame. You don't normally get much of a say, and the internet definitely remembers this guy for all of his hickeys. Number 1. Makai Alante Lucky. Makai Alante Lucky could give Meek's good fortune a run for its money, and gives the convict surname another meaning altogether. In April 2016, Lucky was arrested for motor vehicle larceny and eluding arrest. After he was booked, the arresting police department shared his mugshot online, and it soon became a sensation due to his ridiculously unique eyes. This was because his eyes were different colors. Yes, you heard right, Lucky has one blue, while the other is brown. So, it's not surprising that his photo went viral. The disorder that causes this is called heterochromia, and it's pretty rare, especially in a mugshot. Like with Meek's good fortune, after Lucky went viral, he was, lucky enough to be noticed by Demonte Bryant, the founder of the St. Clair modeling agency, who eventually found him online, and he was subsequently offered a contract. Again, this entry just goes to show that sometimes, only on very, very rare occasions, getting arrested can sometimes lead to better opportunities. But again, don't get arrested just to try to get a modeling contract. What do you think about all these famous mugshots? Let us know in the comments below, and take care.